Hey there, Alethea here. In this video, I want to show you how I used Annie Sloan chalk paint to create an old world stone effect. And these are super simple techniques that any beginner can do. So let's get started. First thing I did was clean it thoroughly with TSP substitute. As Kasha says, always clean your piece, always. For the base coat, I used a gray mixture that I had made with leftover paints. I believe the base color in this was Annie Sloan's Graphite, and then I just lightened it. And if you're looking for a comparison, try Annie Sloan's Paris Gray or some kind of light gray. I painted in every direction to create texture. It's a lot of crisscross. I also painted over the knobs. Next, I made another mixture of Annie Sloan's chalk paint of Country Gray, Honfleur, and French Linen. The color I was going for, I would say, is close to Annie Sloan's Cocoa. So you could just go with that if you have it. I didn't have it. For the texture, I started with cornstarch. I applied the texture with a Dollar Tree sponge and I cut it into quarters. Now it was time to add the cocoa mixture. Now it wasn't necessary to cover the whole piece with this. I did want the gray to peek through. Now for the texture, I dipped my sponge into a cup of water and wrung it out completely so that it's not dripping, and then dipped that into the cornstarch. I don't know if you can see very clearly here. It's not coming out as I wanted anyway. So what I did was I ground up some sea salt that I had in the kitchen and added that to the cornstarch mixture. I felt this more resembled the textures of stone. There again, I'm just applying the cocoa mixture and then dabbing on the texture. And then simply repeat that process all over the piece. That is the texture I was going for. Of course, it's not going to be that pronounced in the end. I saved the brushes and sponge in an airtight bag. You never know if you're going to need them again during this project. Sometimes I have to go back and redo something. Once that layer dried completely, I very lightly sanded using a fine grit sandpaper. So what this did was just with a lot of peaks and valleys, high points and low points. And this is exactly what we wanted, not only for the finished look of the piece, but also for the whitewash. Which is next. I mixed Rustoleum's linen white chalked paint with water. And normally I use a 50-50, but this time I made it a little more paint heavy. So it's probably more like 75% paint to 25% water. In other words, 3 parts paint to 1 part water. You can play with the viscosity all you want. The thicker you go, the more white will show. I'm using a damp shop towel. You can use any rag, just make sure it's lint-free. So while the base was drying, I went ahead and painted the tops with Sloan's Graphite. And this time I didn't paint in every direction. I went with straight lines. I let that dry completely overnight, and then I added white wax. I applied the white wax liberally and let it stay on longer than usual before wiping off the excess. I'm rubbing it in pretty well here, making sure I get it into the lines. As you're wiping off the excess of the wax, it's important to keep changing to a new and clean section of your rag. Otherwise, you're just moving the wax around, and what you want to do is take the excess off. Now, I did apply the white wax to the base as well, and I'm not sure that this is really necessary, but I felt that it really added to the dimension and depth of the piece. I just love that texture. Don't you love it? That is what stone looks like. And it feels like it too. There's just 2 more things to do. And the first one is I applied Dixie Belle's Best Stain Wax in black to the corners and edges. This, I feel, adds to the age of the piece. Simply paint it on and then wipe off the excess. And if you make a mistake or you put some dark wax where you don't want it, you can simply erase it with clear wax. And the last step in this piece is to add gilding wax to the knobs. I mixed Dixie Belle's gold gilding wax with Sloan's silver until I got the warm shade I was going for. Here's a reminder of what we started with, and here is the finished piece. Thank you for staying with me this far in the video. I hope these methods have helped you. Thank you for being here, and I will see you in the next video.